so you don't have a purpose. In today's fast-paced and uncertain world, it's easy to feel like life is speeding past you while you're stuck in place. Expectations weigh heavy. Society tells you to be successful. Your friends seem to have it all figured out, and social media only makes the pressure heavier. Maybe you're in your 20s, fresh out of university, or still figuring out your path. You're unsure what you want to do, what you're good at, or even where to start looking. And you still have to make choices you are not ready to make. You're not alone. This is a feeling a lot of people face, but there's a way to find your direction. The concept of Ikigai. It means a reason to live or a reason for being. It comes from the Japanese words iki, meaning to live, and gai, meaning value or effect. In essence, Ikigai reflects the things that bring purpose, fulfillment, and joy to your life. It could be a small, everyday pleasure like sipping your morning coffee, or a larger sense of purpose like contributing to your community. Before we begin, keep in mind that Ikigai is a complex concept with many interpretations. As I am not an expert on the subject, I may misinterpret something. If you notice any mistakes, feel free to correct me in the comments. Before diving into the practical stuff, it's important to understand that there are two main interpretations of Ikigai. The Western version. This might be the version that you are familiar with if you've heard about Ikigai. So this version divides Ikigai into 4 categories. What you love to do, what the world needs, what you are good at, what you can be paid for. It represents the concept with a diagram of 4 overlapping circles and your Ikigai at the center. Traditional Japanese Ikigai. Now this may be less familiar as this version is not as popular in the Western world. This is the original Ikigai. The main difference is that this version does not have a diagram. Also, the traditional version does not mention professional success or money. It focuses on personal fulfillment and finding joy in the small things. It is more fluid and subjective. Let's start with the westernized version. So we need to draw 4 overlapping circles. In each of the circles, write 3 things. The first circle is for what you love to do, so write down 3 things that you love doing. For example, maybe you love to paint, to play video games, and to write stories. In the second circle, write down 3 things that the world needs, in your opinion. Maybe affordable healthcare, clean energy, quality education for everyone. In the third circle, write 3 things that you are good at. For example, solving problems, cooking, and public speaking. And in the fourth circle, write 3 things that you can be paid for. Graphic design, teaching, software development. As the circles overlap, we start to see that what you love and are good at is your passion. What you love and the world needs is your mission. What you are good at and can be paid for is your profession. What the world needs and you can be paid for is your calling. In theory, the overlapping center of the circles should be your Ikigai or your reason for being. Now let's see the traditional version. Before I show you the traditional concept, as this version does not have any kind of diagram or visualization, I made an attempt at visualizing it as I see it. You can imagine it in a way that's easier for you to write and comprehend. So this is how I imagine the original Ikigai. We see that here we have a core. That's our Ikigai or purpose. And again, we have 4 aspects. Passion, what you love. Ask yourself, what makes me lose track of time? For example, painting, writing, playing music. Mastery, what you are good at. Ask yourself, what skills or abilities am I good at? Maybe you are good at cooking, problem solving, or learning languages. Contribution, how you benefit others. Ask yourself, what do I give back to my community or loved ones? Something like helping friends in need, volunteering, creating art that inspires. Mindfulness, being grateful for small moments. What simple things bring me joy? It can be drinking a cup of tea, walking in the park, spending time with a pet. In this version, you write as many things as you want for every aspect. Once you write all of them, Start searching for connections between the things that you wrote. You can write one thing in more than one aspect. For example, you can write writing in both passion and contribution if you share the things you write with someone. And remember, things don't need to connect perfectly, and that's okay. After you do all of these things, you realize one thing. Ikigai isn't something you find like in the first version. All of those things and the balance between them are your Ikigai. All of these things that make you you are your purpose. Imagine it like a fireplace. Your Ikigai is the fire, and everything that you wrote are logs that you put in the fire to keep it burning. And keep in mind, you may not have all the answers right now, and that's fine. You are not supposed to. This is a long process that requires a lot of self-reflection and experience. Even if you don't have all the answers now, you will get there. At the end, you realize that after searching for your Ikigai, you've been the one building it. And I think that's beautiful. As you can see, this interpretation is more focused on personal fulfillment rather than finding a career path. And the most important thing is to continue to do the things that you love and to keep seeing the beauty in the small moments. Bonus version, this Japanese psychologist has an interesting interpretation of Ikigai, and while it is not as popular as the other two, I thought that it is still interesting. He categorizes Ikigai into 3 types. The social Ikigai. This is for purposes that are mainly social. Say a teacher or a nurse. Someone that helps the community. Think Oskar Schindler. He risks his wealth and safety to save the lives of over 1,000 Jews by employing them in his factories. The non-social Ikigai. Purposes that are not tied with society. Basically, someone that does something for personal fulfillment. Like a monk with spirituality, or someone that practices gardening or journaling, or any skill without sharing it publicly. Think Forrest Gump. He starts running not for fame or money, but as a personal journey. The antisocial Ikigai. This Ikigai is more specific. This is when your purpose is made by hatred, anger, or revenge. This is basically someone that creates art or music that expresses anger or criticizes something they don't believe in. Think Walter White. He starts his drug empire to help his family at first, but at the end his purpose is fueled by pride and desire to prove himself. So these are the main interpretations of Ikigai. They have their differences, but at the end they all help you to find your purpose. I hope that these explanations were somewhat understandable and you got the idea. If not, I am open to questions in the comments. I hope that your journey goes great and you find your purpose. Bye.